We've got a quorum. Welcome of guests and public comments. I see our commissioner here. You want to say something, Bobby?
Sure.
Or get up and speak?
I'll make it short. Wanted to come and talk with you guys about where we are on our litigation and your all's involvement as a board. It is important that you guys start to engage. I hope it's not gone too far and that it's not too late for you guys to get involved. As I was thinking about coming up here and having this discussion with you guys last night, thinking about what to say and how to encourage you guys to get involved, because you guys as the board are the decision makers. So I'm here kind of as compact commissioner, but also as a constituent in this district. And I sit here and say, as a constituent, are you all representing my interest as a constituent by not ever showing up to any of these mediations, not getting involved? It is important that you guys attend these. You guys send your attorneys, you send management. They are not the decision makers of this district. You guys are. And I have met with you guys each and told each of you guys, I want you to hear our side of the story. I've offered that many times. Never been taken up by you guys to do that. You know, the operating agreement, which is what you guys have been so much on a foundation of. The operating agreement has three things that need to be discussed, and you guys, I feel like, aren't aware of. You probably, I'm sure, Renee and Maria give you the information through their lens, but you've never heard it through our lens. The operating agreement, you know, based on D2, which is what our settlement is based on, and things, the operating agreement has three things that don't work well for it. Number one, the operating agreement has an expiration date. You guys know when the expiration date of the operating agreement is?
45 or something like that.
I believe it's 2050. Maria can probably tell us, 2050. What's your game plan after that? You know, most of us here, it's not gonna affect. It's gonna affect his kids, it's gonna affect his kids. So what's your game plan? This litigation's been going on since 2013, 2012, 2013 in there. How long do you think it's gonna take? How long did it take to get the operating agreement put in place? You think EPCWID is just gonna sign off on an extension and not wanna make changes, and you guys are gonna be in the same boat? I understand 2050 is way in the distance. It'll be here before you know it. And it will affect this district at that point in time. And if you think you're gonna get blanket agreement and move forward at that point in time, you're probably not. Number two, you guys don't have an enforcement mechanism in the operating agreement. Tell me what you do when EPCWID can't get you the water. What is it that you all do? What does this district do when they can't? So there is no enforcement. The settlement has some enforcement, whether people like the way we enforcement, whether the 3-year time frame is too long for things to get put back into, put back right. We can have those discussions. None of you guys have been present for any of those discussions. In Washington, it was me that said, I didn't want to talk to your attorneys. I don't want to talk to your attorneys. I want to talk to you guys, because you guys are the ones that make the decision. And it's time that you guys make the decisions. Involve yourself. EPCWID sends somebody every time. Every time. You guys are not doing this district right by not showing up. Not hearing the other side of the story. You know, you had a big issue with Pat Gordon. He wouldn't talk to you guys, but you guys wouldn't talk to him either. And who was Pat? Pat was the guy who was really the driver behind the operating agreement. You and I were there, Art. We sat there. He was the driver behind the operating agreement. So how did it go from him being the one that helped us get the operating agreement to the one who you all looked at as your greatest enemy? Because you guys wouldn't communicate with him. It's a problem when communication breaks down. So my only comments here today are to implore you guys to get involved. Hear the other side of the story. Take me up on my offer. Come and hear what we have to say. And don't sit there in the echo chamber and listen to what your attorneys pound on you time after time after time. So,
Okay, we will sure take it under advisement. I disagree with you on a lot of that, but.
that's fine.
That's okay.
Disagree, Art, disagree.
Yeah.
I'm not here to argue right or wrong.
But we are engaged with EPCWID all the time. And we do have meetings with them. You're correct. I did not go to Washington DC because. it
But
was
you
a
haven't,
busy
but,
time.
but nobody here has been in Minnesota. Nobody's here been in Minneapolis, nobody's been in St. Paul, nobody's been in Atlanta, nobody's been in Denver, nobody's been in
Well,
all over the world where this mediation has been taking place for the last year and a half.
right,
You guys got to get involved.
okay,
And I'm sorry if you're all busy, I am too.
right.
Get yourself, read the material, update yourself. I'm a resource. I have talked to each of you guys. Let me give you my side of the story. Not one time have you all taken me up on that. And that offer still stands. Because I'm not real sure. You say you disagree with that, you've never heard our side of the story. So I'm not here to argue who's right, who's wrong. But if we can't sit down and talk with you all because you're not there, how are we ever gonna get beyond that?
Well, I think that's a good point, that we do need to talk. Now, you and I thought we had talked.
We
He
have.
comes back over here to his office
Yeah,
directly, so.
I have, but I've offered you guys to hear from our team. Because to hear from our team, hear exactly what it is we're doing and why we're doing it.
Okay,
Okay?
very good.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
I don't know if that's helpful, Robert.
Well, I'm glad you said it not in the executive session. Thank you very much.
It's just public comment, and it's not
That's-
anything, but I want these guys to get involved.
That you gotta be.
That's what it takes.
So,
Right. Okay, and that's public comment, I'm not supposed to directly respond, but I will say there are different views on what just transpired. Okay, anybody else? Robert, you want to say anything?
No, your general manager and your doctor took care of my trivial questions before we even had a meeting.
Hey, very good.
And he's gonna help us make it snow more. We talked about that. So,
Is he?
yeah.
Good, you're gonna see some clouds up there.
You didn't want to hear what I had to say this morning, earlier, did Dr. Blair?
I pro snow, Robert. Yeah.
I'm a PP guy.
Okay. All right, let's get on to the minutes under tab 3. And let me think here, yeah, we need to review both of them. We got 2 sets of minutes, is that right, Claudia?
Yes.
Okay. First set is the November 13th meeting.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
All right, I hear a motion by Jared, second by Mike, that we approve the meeting, the minutes on that particular day. Indicated by anyone that's for that, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. Okay, let's go to the next set of minutes. Oh, the next set of minutes was for our annual thing there. Anybody problem with that one? Hear a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve.
December 6th. Mike made a motion, Jared said. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Same sign. Okay. Stuff over here. Report recommendation from Mary. All right, Mary. Have at it.
Here.
No, it keeps falling down.
I'm just gonna hold it.
Just hold
And we do have the quarterly reports.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do have several reports to review for the month of November and December, including the quarterly investment report.
Okay. All right, if you don't think much has changed, oh, we might as well go through it. Do you want to go through month by month, Mary?
Yes, we can go ahead and do that this morning. Our first report is our monthly for November. There's not much that has changed at this point. Under the SLLG treasury rates as of today for 1 month, we're at 4.40%. And if you look at our money market account, we are above that at 4.78 for the month of November.
Okay. Very good.
Following is our balance sheet.
Okay, I think we can go to that next December to look at that one closely. Same thing on your revenue, Mary.
Yes, we can do that for our balance sheet and our revenue.
Okay, let's go ahead and
We
get-
can go,
Let's go to
jump
December.
next to our $500 check report.
All right. We're looking on
Thousand.
November. under-
I'm sorry, that's $1,000 check report.
November.
Are we in December?
No,
For
November.
the month of November, Mr. Dillon.
We're still on the November for the check report. Okay, line 12, one question. Is that for one hydraulic cylinder repair? Pete or somebody?
On, number 12?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, that's for the, one of
Great big,
the long reaches, yes, sir.
big long reach?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know cylinders gone up, but I thought that's pretty big price.
It's a big cylinder.
That's a good thing.
Are we, on 26, that's the membership dues for the Rio Grande Council of Governments? And my question is, are we actively involved with this organization?
It's they're a proxy for the Water Development Board, Far West Texas Regional Planning.
Correct, but do we have a seat in the table?
Yeah,
So
Jay's a member.
Yes,
do you
we
go-
have,
I'm assuming you go to them?
every month or every other month,
Okay.
as soon as they're called out.
Perfect. Yeah, because that's very, I guess they're key in the grant and all that kind of stuff.
They need a local administrator since there's so many governmental entities involved.
Right.
And in smaller areas, it might be somebody like us would be the local entity, but in this case, it made sense. We did it about 20 years ago.
Okay.
I think it's just a pass-through. I don't think they provide the service for free, I believe.
And item number 30, Mary, that's our usual payments, hasn't gone up or down really, it's been consistent, or?
That's been our usual payment.
Usual payment?
It can go up or it can go down depending on the prior year. If there was an overpayment, then we receive credits towards the current
But
year.
we've been current, I mean, there's been times that they overlap and then,
Correct.
but we're good on this.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions on the check report on November? If not, let's go to December. All right. This will also be our quarterly, trying to think, our quarterly report.
Just a correction on our quarterly report for December. On the money market account, that interest rate slightly reduced to 4.58%.
That's on the quarterly investment report?
No, this is on the monthly, and
Oh, on the
it's also been corrected on the quarterly as well.
Okay, gotcha.
The following is our balance sheet. We do have a significant accounts receivable balance, That was due to the final quarterly invoices to El Paso Water, which have been paid and received.
Okay. So about line 11,650 to about 65. What you talking about, Mary?
No, this is
Oh,
line
the line
11,600.
11,600. Okay, that's what that's, all right. And when is that payment?
The payment was received this week.
What's,
It's 3.8 million. A portion of that, 443,000, is the federal revenue. That is, we have to turn around and issue it to the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation.
okay.
I think we got the payment earlier than we normally.
Yes, we did.
The payments from where? I'm sorry.
El Paso Water.
That's what, okay, that's part of our agreement.
Yeah, usually it would be in the February or even later reports.
We've come close.
They wanted to make sure we can invest it and make interest, so.
That's nice.
I know, Mary and I worked extra hard over the holiday to get all this stuff done.
That's we did.
John Blue helped us too, we had to resolve a few issues, them, and they were very responsive in getting them resolved. I think it only took us like 3 or 4 days to get it
Correct.
approved. So kudos to them.
Yeah. Okay. Mary, proceed.
The following is our net revenue. We only have 2 months into the new fiscal, so we're at 29% with the income
Okay.
and 12% with our expenses.
Okay. Yeah, kind of early in the year. So Public Service Board payment's gonna help, isn't it? We're up at one.
Yes, it will.
And it's not shown on this month, right? Because it came in today. All right. You'll see it next month.
If there are no further questions, we have our $1,000 check report for December.
Item number 24 on the storage containers. What's the purpose for the storage container?
Those are 240 footers, and for storage, but go ahead, Pedro.
Yeah, those were part of our budget. It's a storage container to store all the tires because our warehouse is kind of overran with tires. The other storage container will be used for part of the river team and for the herbicide, because right now we've got all our Roundup inside the warehouse. And again, we're trying to make room inside the warehouse to be able to put other items.
Is this gonna be temporary, or is this gonna be something that is gonna maybe grow, where you have more storage containers or more storage containers?
No, this will be permanent. These storage containers, I think, the ones we had here, they were older tile, kind of style like a semi truck. So those were moved to the Favens area where we store all our lumber that we used, all our used lumber, so we can reuse it. So, no, I don't foresee, I think we're gonna buy one more that we're gonna need for the Upper Valley, but we should be good with that.
The reason I'm saying is that, I look at the concept like school districts, they don't wanna build a school, so they do porta pots or classrooms, and that,
Right.
at the end of the day, you get out of control. So I hate to see a bunch of storage containers, 'cause
Yeah.
maybe we need to build a facility or something to store stuff, I don't know.
Right, no, I don't foresee it getting any bigger than that.
Okay.
How much are they?
I think they were, 7,000 apiece.
Now, are they the high cubes, Pete?
It's the ones that, Gardner here's got, the ones got the 4 doors on them.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're the high ones. 40 by, I believe they're 9 or 10
Yeah,
feet high.
yeah. And you don't have to pay taxes on those.
That's nice, there you go. I'm trying to see the logic behind it.
I got it.
Says Larry
We
Ogden,
don't pay anyway.
auctioneer.
We don't pay.
I'm assuming that was at an auction meeting. Mary, line 3, I just was curious, what the heck is fire hydrant water usage, and then there's $1,600?
That's for the Lower Valley Water District, right?
Yeah.
Correct,
That's
those
for
are
the
for
rental of
the
the-
in-house district projects.
Yeah, they make, you
You
gotta,
you rent your.
That's, yes, that's, they install a meter.
Yeah,
The one we got is right there by the Island Main where we're doing the project, the Shot Creek. So what it is that this water, we're using it for our new water truck.
oh, okay,
Because
so
our wells
you're,
actually have.
they allow you to go to a hydrant and
Correct.
pull the water out.
They
it's
put a
not
meter.
For construction
Okay.
water.
Yeah, it is a meter.
Okay, okay.
So for some reason, our groundwater's so salty that it causes problems with some of our concrete. I don't know, you guys know about that?
I'm not surprised.
It's mainly my water trucks, they just got too much sand in them and I'm having to
Yeah,
redo my
sand.
water trucks every so
Oh.
often because of the sand from the wells.
Yeah, the sand
Okay.
accumulates.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
it hurts, yeah, it hurts. So we got a brand new water truck, 2024, so yeah,
Oh.
we're using clean water for construction.
You know, but we use it for concrete patching.
Okay.
Are we selling water to the Lower Valley Water District, or how do they just go?
It's through a complex series of contracts that we're not directly, they purchase it from the city. But the Rose administers their assignments,
Yes.
but the water, you guys know more about this than me, he said, he talked.
Well, isn't the Lower Valley Water District kind of like PSB, but a separate
It's a
entity?
utility, yes, sir, it
Or did they
is.
acquire the Lower Valley? I thought that was the biggest pipe like 50 years ago or something, and now maybe.
Well, they
I'm just not
acquire
caught
water rights from properties in Socorro and San Elizario within their boundaries. That allotment is delivered to a treatment plant, which is owned by the city of El Paso.
Oh,
And that
okay.
water is treated and filtered for those areas,
Oh, okay.
Socorro and San Elizario.
That makes sense, makes sense. I have a question, 30 to 37, say? Or 36. I guess the insurance, did it stay the same, or did it go higher, or Lisa? I guess-
Yeah, I mean, it did go up, tell you percentage, but it did go up slightly, sir, like everything else. Of course, you know, we obtain more vehicles, our auto's gonna go up.
My question is, are we keeping them on their toes? Because they've been with us for 10 years or so?
Yeah.
Maybe 12, I don't know.
No, sir, they,
Long time.
very satisfied with Health
You're very
International.
satisfied?
Yes.
Because before them, it was, I think, Wells Fargo or somebody else.
Mhm.
And they were with us for a long time too. So at some point, my question is, are we giving them competition? I understand there's other entities or banks.
Brokers.
Brokers or whatever, and I understand maybe Westar does that as well. They have all our money, and maybe they can give us a competitive price.
And we,
sold town,
yes,
What?
we sold our insurance company too, by the way.
Oh, you did? Well, that sucks.
It's better for everybody else.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, how good.
That must have just happened just recently then. Okay, all right. Okay.
yes.
Okay.
All right. More questions? If not, how about your, let's see, credit card report? Your standard charges?
Correct, and this one is charges for the Christmas and that kind
Yeah.
of.
Okay. Next, we got legal there. We got 2 months of legal.
Sheesh. Rose spent a lot of money.
Drink is a big business.
For that part.
Enrique. Yeah.
Enrique, it's your fault.
Actually, friends.
He was trained by Robert. Okay.
And final is the approval of our quarterly report.
Okay, now this one, you don't have a current correction on that, right?
Just the 4.58% on the money market account.
Okay, instead of the 478.
Correct.
Okay, so you're asking us to approve this quarterly report based on that 458. Do I hear a motion to approve the quarterly report?
Make a motion.
Second.
Larry made the motion, Larry second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. 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 Anyone opposed, same sign. Okay, very good, Mary.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that brings up roads. And roads, we probably have to go month by month if you got any adjustments.
Yes, right, yes, right. Testing,
Testing,
testing, testing.
okay.
It just, go ahead, if you need to hold it, just hold it.
You're better off holding it,
Okay.
yeah.
Will it clip to the stand? For you not to mess with it? How's that?
Testing.
Wow.
There you go. Yes, you're hired.
Yeah.
Jack from
There's a reason why you were appointed.
Don't ask for anything else this year.
One of these little sinkers, and you're sitting there, just keep doing that. Okay. All right,
Good morning.
good morning. Thank you, Jared, I think. Let's see, can we hear her?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How's this? Much
Okay,
better?
pretty good.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so we do have adjustments for the month of October, November, and December.
Okay,
Okay, our first one, we're looking at the Texas Property Tax Code, the limitation of collection of taxes. We're talking about 20 years.
oh, yeah, okay.
That's a total adjustment we're gonna remove at $3,964.80. So now we have 20 years on the books instead of 21.
Okay. Yeah, because that's right. I remember now, you had to start knocking them off.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I need approval on those adjustments.
We have a motion and a second?
Oh, sorry, did you need a motion and a
Yes,
second to do that?
Yes.
Which was it?
Now, you're asking for the adjustment for the, tell me again, what
The 21st tax year on our books. We're
We dropped
removing
it,
the
and we
year
need a motion.
2004.
Okay.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion, drop that down, back down to. Move to approve. All right, Mike made the motion.
Second.
Larry, second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Anyone opposed?
We have more adjustments. These are 4 accounts, and these are totally $129.76. They're gonna be adjusted.
Okay, that's, we're, got you. 129.76. All right, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Larry made the motion. Jared second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. 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 Anyone opposed, same sign. That took care of October and November. Okay?
You wanna go through the adjustments first?
Shoot, yeah, let's go through everything. Let's go through it. Why don't we do this? Let's go through the adjustments, and then we can discuss the last month as far as the public service board assignments and
Okay.
Wait,
the tax assessment adjustment. Will that be all right?
but you already went through the adjustments.
Well, we already did the 20 years. We did
We did
October,
October,
November, now we
November.
need to do December.
So all we have is December. Let's go ahead and do December. Okay, we're on the adjustment.
And there's 2 adjustments for the month of December, and that's a total of $104.75. That's an increase.
Okay. And the reasons are there on the explanation.
Yes.
Okay, Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Larry made the motion. Jared seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign.
The next reports are for information. Would you rather go to just December's?
Let's just go through December.
Okay. For information purposes, the next report is an update on the City of El Paso. We have a public service board. These are the Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, I hear none, so let's go to the next page.
The next report is our percentages, a comparison between the 2023 and 2024 tax assessment. You do have a corrected report.
Okay,
And the one that's highlighted, excuse me, I didn't change the highlight on that.
oh, okay.
Okay. So
That was
really-
all you did was change the highlighting?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So, at the same time, the 2023 tax assessment, we were 56.84%. Presently, we are 38.2739%. Like Mary mentioned, we just got the payment for the Public Service Board and Low Valley Water District, so that percentage has increased.
very good.
Back to closer to 56%.
Yes, sir.
Yep, maybe that some people are waiting a little extra month to pay their bill.
There's more water this year, is that
No.
all? Water, maybe?
Well,
No enthusiasm?
like a money,
Oh.
Well, it's not due till 31st.
it's not due till January,
Exactly.
at the end of January. So,
Tends to be when I pay mine.
The little bit we got.
yeah.
Oh, we can.
Do you have any questions for me?
Rose, I think that's good, thank you,
Okay, well, thank you.
appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Liz.
Thanks, Rose.
Hey,
Yeah. Well,
Well,
Jay,
the
you
next
can
one
be, let's see,
is
I've got,
coupled with your report.
yeah, I got Jay up next.
But
Oh,
it's
go ahead.
the
Go
schedule.
ahead. No, do yours.
Yeah, so, good morning, everyone. Yeah, so, wanted to discuss, potential dates, and it's kind of coupled obviously with, Dr. Blair's and Enrique's report. For a farmer's meeting and either, have option, schedule a physical meeting, or for this first round, do an online Zoom meeting and, let them know about the release, and that's all, we won't be able to provide any on the water situation as far as, numbers, but just to inform the public and farmers and let them be aware of, the delayed release essentially, so.
What is the date for this?
That's what we're here for, I mean, the sooner the better.
Yeah, why don't we do that, I'll do my presentation, so you we got,
Yeah.
Okay.
and you guys
Go
can
ahead.
decide, but we do, I think what Jay's saying is we realize there's a need to have a.
Yeah,
We need to let them.
we've had several calls already,
Right.
requesting so they can plan what we're gonna do or what we're not gonna do.
Exactly, so yeah, I mean,
Well,
obviously,
yeah,
it comes delayed release, but, they're like, well, what's the numbers, and so, yeah, that's why it's kind of coupled with yours, so if you wanna go over what the outlook.
All right.
Yeah, we'll get the outlook, and then, but we do need to keep this in mind. Of course, the nature of that meeting is different this year than it was last year. Last year, we had the water and carryover.
Yeah, and this year, it's a whole different thing.
And so, my eyesight is so good that I can't see where to click on this thing. If you get a younger person, there it is. It's pretty small. Okay, so, there was water transferred from Abiquiu down to us, always happens, typically a little earlier than it did this year, but they waited till, you'll see the pattern in a minute, but that happens every year. Last year, remember, it was about 120,000 acre feet, it was pretty significant, and this year it's not nearly as much. The earliest that they could start that transfer is November 1st. Since there was more water last year, they started then, they waited. It's actually better for us to wait a little bit, because the colder it is, the less we lose. And so they did that, and it's still coming in today as we speak, but it's almost over. You can see the river drop off. So that's good news. I know last month I wasn't able to give you any good news. So we made significant increases because of that transfer, and the river was a little more productive during October and November than we expected it to be. So we'd had that before. So we've got, I think last time I talked to you guys, we didn't have December, meeting in November, we were at 4%. We're closer to 10% now, so that's not great, but it's good. So that's gonna help us with the year. So this is a graph of it, looking at the previous year. So we've gone from being very low, close to 2019, or or 2013 is where we were. And now we're, you know, you can see that there's several years we've had less water than we do right now. So that's significant. Now you gotta understand that 2019 had less water, but we had a lot of water in terms of come into the system that year. So we saw the snow, and this time of year the snow was in record conditions and it became more and more. And so we made, some of these years we got a lot of snow. Sorry, Paul, I didn't turn over the phone, I meant to. So you can't just look at that graph alone. Here's the inflow, the storage in the reservoirs, what I just told you about, shows how we got it there. This little bump right here I'm gonna show you is where we started to transfer. This is what it looks like in real time. The water's coming in. It started to drop off, and that's what we expected. And then they released the water. Here's the release over on the next slide. So it's going to see that it matched that. This is where they pushed that water down to us. So that's all good, and we did get it, and it's still coming in. It won't. You can see here that the last few days they stopped doing that. It takes about 2 weeks for it to come to equilibrium, so it's still going to be some water in transit. This is the snow. Early on, remember, we had some good snows. We were up normal. One thing to remember that to have a above normal runoff into the reservoir, you have to have a snowfall pack that's significantly above normal. So the ones that we like in 2019, those type of big event years, we look at having that blue line above the red line by about 30%. I know it's hard to make sense out of that. Hey, you got a normal snowfall up there in the mountains, why don't we have a normal runoff? But they're two different calculations, and there's a lot happens between the mountains and us down here, a lot of other people using the water. So we really need to have above. You can see that the last couple of months have been very, it hasn't been hardly any snow. So that's troublesome. If we look at where the snow's occurring, we're getting more in Colorado than any place else. And you know, we always look at Wolf Creek as the primary indicator, which is one of our highest gauges. But about 56% of our water comes out of the Chama. So unfortunately, the Chama is the lowest on all the gauges. So I'm not saying it's terrible, but it's not good. That's sort of terrible. So we already know about that on our problems. The drought chart is, you know, it's neutral in some places, a little bit. It could be worse. It's just abnormally dry, so we're not seeing any exceptional droughts. So that tells me in New Mexico at least, and down that the watershed conditions aren't as bad as I thought they might be. They're forecasting pretty much above on the temperatures and below on the rainfall. Maybe a little. You can see that line, that cutoff line, is right at our watershed boundaries up there. A little bit down here in our watershed, but the above the snow that we've been seeing earlier, and then we've had some record snowfalls in Colorado, have been all outside, just right outside our watershed boundaries. So those aren't good. But in general, we do have more water than we expected at this time, mainly due to the performance of the river and the release from Abacu to move that water down. So that's going to help. We're still too low on new water. You know, we got about 60,000 from last year left over, but on new water, we're too low to make an allocation. We can't. Today, if you asked me to make an allocation, I couldn't make an allocation. We don't have enough water in the reservoir for the equations to work properly. I mean, if we were forced to do it, we could do it. We've got an emergency procedure. We think that the numbers will get up higher so that we can do that. EPCWID is still targeting June, but it's a continually changing process. You know, we're still trying to do 2 acre-feet is what our goal is. And you know, to get the snow and maybe get some rainfall, we can get there. Right now, it's sort of a wait and see. We never have reliable forecasts. I typically don't even show some of this information at this time of year because it's again that same problem we had back in November when I told you we were at 300% of normal. And I said, yeah, but if you have a penny and you have 3 pennies, you're 300% above normal, it doesn't really any good. It's a little bit better than that now, the numbers are better than a penny, but they're not ones that we rely on, so we'll start relying on them. The first time I make any inference is in February, so about the next board meeting, and then really April, so we start looking at things to see what we can do. I don't see a March release unless the board just tells us to do it, and then we'll suffer some significant losses, because we'll be the only ones on the river next
Yeah,
door.
we're getting questions already, but I've been telling about it for 1 irrigation. So are you gonna tell them how many irrigations you gonna tell them? You gonna tell them 2 foot
I can't make a forecast right now.
until you get it?
And we've never made a forecast. I've never been able to make a forecast.
On this
And we
farmer's
only
market.
allocate water that's in storage. Right now, the new water that's in storage is below the equations we used to allocate. We have an emergency procedure for that, so
Right.
if you want me to evoke that, we can. If we did that, I'd have to do a study on how much I'm gonna lose. I've done those, I haven't done that calculations yet. And you'd have to give me a date to study the release on, and I could do that. I would expect you'll lose in irrigation by doing that.
Yeah, no. I'm
You're
not-
saying
I'm
an
not
early
asking.
release like in March or something like that?
You'd probably lose in
Yeah,
irrigation.
irrigation.
You can't miss that.
So where you,
So we talked about June, is what we talked before. We tried to coordinate with the upper district in the situation and with Mexico, so that we all go on at the same time to improve efficiency in the system. Enrique can speak to that, but all the previous times we've done that, it's been June, right around June 1st is when we release.
Yes. And Mexico's been pretty consistent with when we release and they release and so forth.
Well, when they have the water,
Yeah.
they don't have the water now.
Oh,
Okay, their water is based on how much is released, and we don't have much to release.
Okay.
So they will get the same amount of water regardless if we lose an irrigation. Mexico is independent of our actions, it's on purpose. But it's based on how much is released, so every time we release an acre foot, they get so much of that they can take, but it's not enough for them. They won't have enough in their allocation if we do this emergency allocation for them to, I just can't imagine them not waiting till June. That's when they really need, most, like EPCWID actually needs water with the peaking, when when it's real hot. And so we save our water for that. You guys go on groundwater between now and then. It is, I don't wanna overplay it, but I don't wanna underplay it. The news that I brought you today is good news compared to what it was in November. So things are looking better. We were sweating it there for a while, whether we could make, whether there's a 2013 again, which was we operated for 45 days in rotation. So there is a better chance that we will have more.
A little bit more water.
We might have as much as 3, maybe 4. Our goal is always 2. Even in extreme drought, our goal is 2. So I just have to wait and see how the system works. But to get that 2, we're probably gonna have to be run as efficient as possible, which means a June release. That would basically, depending on when people run out, or AKOA 2, some people can make 2 go, a few people can make it go 4 irrigations, but mainly 3, right?
yeah, very few.
Yeah, because the first one's always more, right? And so you get an 8 or a 10 and 2 6s, right? So, and it may not be exactly, 2 feet, it may be 8, you get 18, 1 year we get 18. We try to do it with 2-inch increments, is what we try to do, and we haven't, but, and then if we have more water at the end of the year, we allocate. We allocate, we've called emergency allocation meetings before, where we don't have a meeting about anything, but to get the water out to the people. And I would say that we do the same thing this year. If we get the water in, we have a big flood up there, and all of a sudden we've got another irrigation, you guys will want to get it out the next week, right?
Right.
So,
So what are we thinking on return flow to?
that's,
Yeah, I was gonna talk about return flow.
When you get up,
Go to go.
Okay.
so this is just allocation, so.
It's gonna be real important, like for what we've been doing in the past, letting the cotton growers use the return flow.
Yeah, so
And then we kinda left March for whoever wanted to grow cotton,
well, I think we're gonna try to start it up today,
He's right there.
as quick as possible.
He's up there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so we can start taking the orders, unless you have any other suggestions, we can start taking orders today and start early February. We'll see how much the demand starts. And if the acres increase significantly, we can, implement the 2 inches if we need to.
The 2 inch
The
fill.
2 inches, yeah. And the 2 inches helped out
Yeah.
last year in October. Once we started going up to 8,000 acres, the 2 inches helped out.
Okay,
But we can start taking orders and
so
start.
there's your answer. So when will they have water in the system?
We can put water in the system, I say, we just need to get the orders in, so we
Yes.
can get going. We can put it in today.
So
We
can
don't have
talk
any
to people
construction, or Jay, we're gonna talk about that. I mean, we're talking about everything at once here. but
Yeah,
I understand.
Right.
It's just all coupled, yeah.
And it's all coupled, but this is, the good thing is we knew this was coming, so we planned. We don't have any activities going on in the return flow, except for one far upstream, which we couldn't control at the American Dam, so we're losing about 20 CFS up there, which is the Northwest Treatment Plant, and Old Salty, which is the Montoya. And so, it's, very heavy in salt. But that water is going down to Hudspeth, and there's nothing we can do about it. We're hoping to get that into the system in March. I think you're right. You think it'll be maybe April before that gets back into the system.
Yes, maybe April.
But the bulk of the rest, which is 95 compared to 20, the majority of it, 85% of it is in the system and available. And we have no construction except for the island.
We have the island main.
Part of the island.
So, obviously, any of the constituents in that, segment and that, area, we can go up to the I-72 and deliver down the I-72, people put Tapanco in downstream from there. And so we plan on the, line shotcreting 4,000 linear feet of the island main, and we've been working on the earthwork for about a month and a half, so right after we shut down. We finished up that shotcrete in the Franklin Canal, but that was upstream. And last year, the Franklin feeder, we were shotcreting that, which is how we get the effluent out of the riverside, so that's why it was delayed till, latter part of February, early March. But, yeah, other than that, everything it should be open, so contingent on the orders, we'll book them up, and Enrique will start, bringing it in and move it around like he does.
How much, if any, are the retention ponds, or the ponds that we have, you'd be utilized?
Well, the ponds are drained right now on purpose. We did utilize them earlier. Any flow water, if we get any stormwater runoff, we use the ponds and put it in there and capture it and release it as part of the return flow. So any excess flows we may get, we don't anticipate any right now. There's no storm flows. I don't know of any.
Yeah.
Haven't
If
seen
there's
it.
any, we'll put some in.
Yeah, but that's what it's, a storm flow regulators, or excess, but nobody upstream's releasing water, so, but it'll definitely help once the season starts. But this was designed to be a 3,000 acre reservoir at, now we're all the way up to $20 to $30 million plus land purchase and other costs. And we put in a peak so far about 800,000, do you think that much? Not even that much.
I don't think that much.
Yeah, say 600,000, and it's about 10% of what, which is for that, that's a pretty good bargain for
Not bad.
what we did. We did the least low hanging fruit, right? We got the cells working, we could get working for as cheap as possible, so we could get them, and it all 100% internal work, right? They're drained right now, we're doing survey work on those, so we have to have them empty, we're doing a LiDAR study, but because of cost, we're doing a photogamma. It's still an elevation study, we're doing a less expensive study of it, to save money. I can't, we're always open, we've been through this before, right? We've done it, we know how to do it, it does not look as bad as 2013. That's a very staggering thing I'm telling you.
Right.
So last time I was telling you was 2013. I was pretty depressed, as you guys all know, because we didn't want to go through 2013 again. It does not look like 2013 anymore.
Well, looking at the map right there, 2023, didn't we do a, what was the allotment then? In 2023, do you remember?
I could pull it up. I mean, we had a pretty good allotment, 23. It wasn't full, but-
In 2023, didn't y'all have those meetings in where they allocated more? I think it was once or twice, wasn't it?
We
released it in March.
Some years we've allocated every month, sometimes we've
Yes,
allocated
it
2
increased.
times in a month, yeah.
It's too interesting.
I think, this chart here that's up on the one tells you the most. Go back to 2003, you can see that we were closer. At this time, we had a lot more water that we could allocate. So at this time,
22.
22 we had 4, 'cause yeah. we had
22 and
significant amount
21,
And carry over.
yeah, are actually less than we have this year right now. So we can look at those years. The only thing that's different is that we probably have better antecedent moisture conditions and better snowfall by this time. But again, wait till, give me at least till February on the snow.
Yeah.
Give me another month.
There's
please.
still hope.
There's still hope, yeah. April is the most productive snow month of the year.
Well, we got February, March, and April.
Let me get February.
Robert said he's gonna seed our clouds for us up there, I think.
I don't know, I don't know whether it was a dance or seeding or just prayers, but he said he might pray the other way for
A rain
me.
Whatever, we'll take any help. Okay. Jay, back to your meeting.
So now that we've heard, yes, so it's gonna take a few iterations, I think, on the farmers' meetings for our constituents and keep them abreast of current situations. But obviously after Dr. Bear's report, seems like we're gonna.
This would be the report for the meeting.
Lean towards a delayed release, so,
Sure, at the moment, that's what it's looking like, so you
and-
need to let them know that.
Well,
Right.
I think it's better to do a Zoom meeting because you don't really have the.
Yeah, at least,
Exactly.
and we can start it anyway that way.
And, you know, they can, I mean, we'll present these, present the outlook and whatnot, and, you know.
And this was our rehearsal for that, so.
Yeah, it seems much more efficient, you know, and get everybody engaged.
Yeah,
but,
we'll do the same thing. The three big things we'll talk about is return flows, the forecast return flow. We've done it many times, and then Jay will talk about this, you know, what's going on with the system and the repairs. I mean, I know that it's not a huge deal, but in the return flow time period is a huge deal. The 4,000 feet of Franklin Canal that we line, that's probably a single irrigation for 500 acres. I mean, I know it's not major, but in
But it
return
helps.
flow, when you don't have much
Sure,
water,
yeah.
every
Every drop
every
counts.
drop count. So we are getting a much more efficient return flow system put in place. Same thing for the island. We put off the island and we've got to get it done. And so sometimes we have to back to go. It will come back online. It will come back online in the return flow period. And it will come back online much more efficient. The island was really bad, right?
Yes, it was really sandy, and then that has another positive alternative in that the farmers have a lot of wells in that section, so, you know, they'd be able to pump into it and without losing significant amount of water, so, you know, further. Sure.
I think too, at the
So
meeting.
it behooves the farmers, go ahead, no, so it helps.
So at the meeting, we need to, you guys have an emergency drought policy that's in effect? We haven't been out of drought long enough for you guys to repeal it. So, I mean, in some full allocation years, it says it's not effective, but there's no reason, just leave it. I think we should show that to all the people and all the options they have to use our facilities, such as for conveying water through some of the smaller laterals and how they do that. And especially at this time, so, and then we have an expedited permitting process. I don't know if Jared knows about all these things, he might have seen the drought policy, we'll get him a copy of it. But their engineering has a sort of an emergency response provision in there that we need to help get a pipeline across a canal, we need to have a temporary structure, we need to go across a road. There's I think you waive all the fees and set them up that you gave, I'll have to go back and check to see if we currently still have them, you gave the manager authority to sign those, so that a person could come in one day and walk out the next with the ability to use our property for emergence, for the drought mitigation.
Right.
To try to get, set the priorities where they should be. So, we'll do it.
For that meeting, you can get those things, and like I said, you can set them out there electronically so people are aware again, because we've all forgotten.
Yeah, they're on the site. We'll just point out the web links to them, and they're on the website, but,
Because we were hopeful we were on a 20 year where we had too much water. What happened?
it was,
Yeah.
we were hoping with the new manager, he was gonna bring us full allocation.
Well, started off well, it's flattened out now, flatlined.
Oh, boy. Oh,
But,
boy.
I guess as far as the date, how does next week, does that give back for time? I mean, we'll put it on the webpage, and, we'll send out, I think we got an email list, right, Catherine? You got an email list, so we can send an email list, I don't
Do
know.
we have a date? We need to have one or more board members there with us.
What do you think, like Wednesday, midweek, just so people on Mondays never work good for anybody. 'Cause everyone's-
No.
Actually, Monday's a holiday.
This is better.
Oh.
Yeah, we're holiday.
What, oh?
Yes, we're closed on
Is it
that.
downstairs?
Yeah, what's it, Harley King?
Or-
That means the bank's closed.
That's when I know it's a holiday, when I go to the bank and nobody answers.
So when do we normally do them, 10 a.m.?
I think our last
PM?
one was, it was around 10, and it was, yeah, it was very successful doing it by Zoom.
Upper Valley typically likes us to do them in the evening, so we may have to do 2.
Well, wait, if
Well,
we're
but
gonna
if
do
it's
a,
Zoom,
if we're gonna do a Zoom,
A lot of Upper Valley likes us to do the meetings, even the Zoom meetings in the evening, because they can't leave their work for.
even for the Zoom meetings? Okay, but this is kind of a trial, it's our first one.
No, we've done it before.
Well, I know we have, but I mean. at the
It's
first-
just a repeat of the meeting. usually.
Okay, okay.
It's up to you. If you don't wanna do the
So
evening
wait a
one,
minute, you said you need a board member on,
we typically have, Johnny would typically be there to introduce everything and tell everybody what we're doing. And then, not always,
okay,
but if you could have one, when you come in the studios here, we just use a small conference room. It's over pretty fast.
Yeah.
okay, I mean, yeah, well then pick a date, I'm open next week myself, pretty much. No doctor, you know, that goes,
22nd, Wednesday, midweek, yeah.
the 22nd is a Wednesday.
There's no legal stuff going on that day? Oh.
10 o'clock?
10 a.m. So we'll get that posted on the webpage and send out the link to the email. You've got a long email list for a bunch of farmers. And then we'll post that we're taking orders as well.
Yes.
We'll get that.
And we'll do a flyer you guys can all send out to anybody in your guys' email list. And then we'd probably end up doing this every month.
Okay,
Does that consider a quorum?
Yes.
But if
Like,
two,
if we have 3, or
We'll file
if there's 3, we'll need to, yeah. Let us know if 3
do we
want
need
to.
to advertise or something? I don't know.
Yeah, we have to follow the procedures of open meetings. If there's only 2, we can do it without that, but if there's 3 of you that wanna go to that, I think if you just watch it,
yeah,
that's fine. I don't know, I'll check into that, see what Maria Renee said.
well, yeah, that's what I'm wondering, is, are you telling me on a Zoom, if I happen to sit at my office and he sits in
Yeah.
his office? and
That's
he sits
fine
at-
if you wanna do that.
Or is that a meeting?
Is that a meeting though? Is that-
Yes.
Yes, that's still.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
because
so we'll
we're
just file an
establishing that.
agenda. So we'll
Oh,
just
really?
Wait a second. Are y'all saying it is a meeting if you watch?
No, we're just saying if they wanna participate, if 3 board members wanna participate in the meeting, it's an official meeting.
There used to be a time where we couldn't chime in on a Zoom because we weren't there yet before COVID. At least that's the way I understood it.
Well, that's more complicated, but that's not the situation we're talking about right now.
The issue is you can't deliberate. That's the test.
Right.
You can sit there and stare at something if
Yeah.
you want, but
You can watch. I typically have 1 or 2 board members that participate in the meeting.
So-
That's all right. If you have 3 board members that deliberate, as a layperson, I say participate, then no, we have to advertise. We can still do it, I'm not saying we can't do it. I just need to know so we can get the notices.
yeah, let me just add, and then, so let's say you had 2 participating and 1 watching. You can't start texting back and forth with the 1 watching, because that's deliberating, so.
Yeah, no communication.
We should just file an
It,
agenda.
yeah, it's just.
We do it every
frankly,
farmer's
it's a
meeting.
slippery, it's a slippery slope.
So
When
we
you
have
get,
a-
when you get 3,
Right.
so it's,
I've always understood, you
we've
have
always
3,
erred on the side of being.
Yeah, that's what I just said. I said if you have 3, we're gonna notice it
Yeah.
regardless, and if
Right.
it's 2,
That's right.
I don't.
That's right.
Just try to keep it simple, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
If you don't want, if nobody wants to go do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you don't have to worry about
We can
this.
discuss that, sure.
You can all watch it without,
Yeah,
So January 22nd, 10 a.m., and then we'll discuss the filing if needed.
okay.
we typically, it's a bigger deal, it's like a webinar. So it's sort of produced.
Mhm.
And so we usually would request, if you're gonna participate, we'd love you to come here, so we set up a
Right,
studio.
that's right.
Right.
Okay. Well, all right, put me down and I'll be here on the 10th, on that day. So
Okay.
that's one,
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
We'll get it all set up?
put me down to,
Okay.
can I tell you?
Sure.
Right,
So there's gonna be 3, so we'll notice it.
There you go.
Oh, okay, then,
What?
I'll let you two guys know. We want-
I don't mind doing a notice, it's up to you.
I mean, it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
It just
we
seems
file
to-
one for everything.
Let's go ahead and notice it.
Okay.
Yeah,
That way you
that's
got-
right, and you don't even have to decide today.
So we'll get that out, it has to be.
We don't have to do anything, if you
Yeah,
then
it's
decide
on
you don't wanna go,
Wednesday,
it's
no,
fine.
Back Friday.
Right.
Okay.
Got all bases covered.
We'll get it
Exactly,
in.
right,
We got time?
right.
We got time. Well, we're just checking to make sure we can meet the deadlines we can.
There we go. Gotcha. All right.
So that was, I'm still trying to leave you guys, that was sort of good news.
Yeah, no, I can see the graph, that is
Yeah.
good news, because I remember just a couple of weeks
I-
ago, Al, we were talking about
I was
2013.
thinking 2013.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
too.
We were-
yeah.
Yeah, it was working, so.
6
so it
inches.
is.
So
Well, now I've changed, my mindset's changed, I'm shooting for 2.
2
Yeah.
feet.
18 inches to 2 feet.
Okay.
Okay,
If that was even a
Sounds
little
good.
optimistic,
I'm a
Little
little,
bit.
given that he's usually Debbie Downer, then that's.
I don't wanna be too optimistic.
I'm not saying, I said even if Al's a little bit optimistic, he's
Yeah,
usually
always good.
2013.
That is good.
then-
All right, let's see here, Pete, I think,
Is Enrique,
It's
are
Enrique.
you?
or is it Enrique, I'm sorry, was that all, but
third time?
We're done?
you wanna add on to anything? No?
Go back up for the third time.
Go ahead.
Can you say it?
Just say good morning.
This is your official 2025.
Good morning, happy
Morning.
Just, we'll start taking orders today, as effective today, and then, we'll start as soon as February 1st. Everybody, or, the 3rd, February 3rd is on a Monday. We'll start cleaning up our canals. We're gonna have some winds this weekend. Hopefully we don't get too much weeds and leaves inside our channels, but we'll start cleaning up, getting it ready for that return flow.
Any construction going on upstream that could affect us?
The American Canal, it's the only one that,
Are we gonna turn on the wells by any chance to clean them or? Okay.
We're in we budgeted a full well program.
Yes.
Okay.
Any,
Mary's looking like, yeah.
you don't see any, spills or anything like that, any scary stuff like that this year?
no, not,
Or you don't?
no, right now, they have the American Dam is being diverted to a river, so any storms up above, we won't even catch that.
You know, good, on that issue, and I talked to Rick about it, and it's not part of this, it's just general information for you guys, so you know, that we're working with the Boundary Commission on a levee improvement on near Riverside Canal. And, it's been a very good project for the district. The engineers are very competent, really some of the best engineers we've ever worked with. It's, you know, for me, it's like going back in time. It's like, but everybody knew how to do stuff, and some of these guys I've known, Janet will know over the years, and working for the Boundary Commission, and their Boundary's supporting us very much on that, and that would at no cost to the district, would create a facility at Riverside Dam that could be used to divert water there again. We're not rebuilding the dam, so don't start a rumor that we're gonna rebuild the dam. We're not doing that. We're doing our inlet structure. They're going, because of part of the necessity for the levee, for flood protection, we have a buried inlet there now, an emergency inlet that we don't use. They're going to remove that emergency inlet and put an operational inlet, which would give us some flexibility if the water was in the river like it is this year to divert it. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, that is huge.
And very, I can't be complimentary enough on the program that what the Boundary's done.
Yes.
It's a win-win situation, and they came to the table with us very sincere and
Wow.
productive in terms of getting a design.
Is this because of the new boundary commissioner that, it's a lady that maybe.
And maybe, I don't know, I know it's
Well, I
just,
met her a couple of years ago, whenever we had our.
They're realigning the fence, so they're
She's
gonna
seen-
realign the fence and do
I
a
think
section,
it's several things, I think it's FEMA,
right?
it's really
And the dam.
the driving
Yeah,
FEMA,
certification.
so we don't flood out the port of entry. And security issue from Homeland Security is involved with the fence. And then the conflict between that and our emergency structure that wasn't compatible, so they had to build a new structure. And so everything sort of aligned, and the main difference was the commissioner, I'm sure, is that instead of saying, we're just gonna take away your emergency structure or do the cheapest thing we can, they cooperatively said, hey, we'll fix it, to make sure that you don't lose that.
And completion date?
Oh, I don't even know that it's funded. I'm just saying it's designed.
We had a kickoff meeting, about a year ago, and that's when they took our input, you know, what
I think
was
it's funded.
necessary and what was not needed, so yeah.
We're at 90%
We need
design.
the structure. They're in design right now, but yeah, it's funded, so it's a 90%. They asked for our comments, to be submitted by the 21st of this month, which Dr. Blair and I have gone over. And, they're finished up, and the 100% is due at the end of February, and then we'll put out the bid, so it'll probably go out construction in September.
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah, if they can get it going.
Sometimes they don't, because they don't know the full cost until they finish the design, like we're at now.
They should pull out the other one, the emergency one, like you said. So what, I'm trying to envision, how big of a project is this gonna be?
In the
Pretty
tens of
big.
millions.
Large, maybe
Is it?
50.
But it's not just, that's just one, ours is just one
Yeah,
little.
ours was a
Part of it.
Yeah, they were gonna redo the fence, so realign it, shift it,
Wow.
and provide some more area, and then obviously get the levee, because they're gonna build a new levee essentially, so that needs certification. So they're
Raise the levy.
Okay, but like the diversion part of it.
Oh, it's gonna, we're gonna have new structure, new gate structures?
Complete structure.
Yeah, or a gate structure.
Yeah, they'll actually be, it won't be, it'll still be an emergency
Use.
use.
But it'll be workable.
Yeah, we'll have the ability to take it water.
You know if it's going through the Corps of Engineers?
I'm sure it is, I'm sure it is.
Oh,
It's,
for approval, yeah.
Yeah, the Rio Grande, the waters of
Or
the
the,
US.
or the administration of it?
No, that's been run, unless they hire the Corps to manage it, which they've done before.
Oh, yeah,
The Boundaries managing it.
No, in fact,
No.
But yeah, they'll have to get a permit from the Corps of Engineers.
All right.
It won't be, they'll own the structure that's in the river, so it's to the side
Any
of the river,
questions? No, that's-
in the levee.
More más?
no.
all right,
Okay.
Thank you.
Bueno,
thanks, Enrique.
thank you, Ricky. Now it's ready for Pete. Go ahead.
I'm on the wrong screen, all right.
Okay, we're gonna use this chair keeps,
Oh, yeah, that's the right screen.
it seats.
See if your controller
It
works.
starts at a certain height, and then as you're sitting there, it just,
You need,
Yeah.
but
Very nice.
maybe this one stays.
we're good? Should we test?
Okay, so I'll start off with some of the work that's going on inside our welding shop, some of our fabrication. This bucket was completely refabricated. We just used some of the some parts that were not available. As you can see, like the top portion. We're also right now installing new bushings. Once this is done, that machine, all the bushings and bearings on that whole front will be new. This is the machine that actually the stick broke on. You remember a couple of months back that I showed you guys a stick that was broken in half? This is the same machine, so it's being completely redone, and we're doing everything in-house with our welder. Here we go.
Decide.
All right, Lisa, you got me back.
There we go.
There you
Oh, did you
go.
change your chair? Pete?
Yeah, yeah.
Are we starting all over again?
Okay, then some of our drains, these are drains outside of the city limits. This is the border drain down in the Favens Tornillo area. And as you can see, it hugs the border wall there. So our responsibility is to make sure we clean everything inside the channel. Then Border Patrol's responsibility is to maintain the tops. Next one, Jay. That's the same drain a little bit further downstream. And then this is the west drain, or the east drain, I'm sorry. This is the same drain that we've been working on for, I guess, the past 2 or 3 months. This is the one over by W Silver, where I was explaining that we were getting some of the sewage that was actually getting backed up. So we've gone in there and we've mowed it all. We've kind of leveled the banks, and now we're just going in there and cleaning out the channel. Go to the next one, Jay. And that's all. That's actually the entrance to W Silver. And as you can see here, we're digging it out, yet the water hasn't even reached that area. Go to the next one, Jay. And just right on the other side of the bridge, that's where all the water's being held up. This is over by Mr. Singh's place, over by Anthony, right in front of La Tuna. And then, right now, we've got a contractor that's actually taking, dirt out of the ponds, out of the water treatment plant. And they're giving us all the clay soil, so what we're doing is we're utilizing it and building up the banks at the ponds. Okay, and they're delivering it for us, and, we'll just go in there, spread it out, take some elevations, get our low spots and raise those banks in those ponds. There you can see the dirt they're bringing into us, and then, we go in there and just spread it out and move it where we need it. We got some of the ditch riders right now that they're doing, all they're doing is patch up work on these cement line ditches. We've got a list of broken concrete throughout the whole district. The ditch riders, they actually do a list, I guess the last month of running water, Enrique?
Yes, about the last one.
And so then they go back during winter maintenance and they go back and target these areas where we have these problems.
Is there a reason for that? In other words, is there a pattern, maybe the method that we did it originally? Because we've gone through an evolution of Shot Creek, right?
Right, yeah, this is old concrete, like the old concrete ditches where the concrete buckles.
Okay.
We'll go in there, we'll break that piece out, and then we'll report it. So it's basically just repair work. Then this here, this is an area up there by Smith Road and Roseway where we've been having complaints, I'm thinking for the past 3-4 years now. And this area is always about past the buck, you know, these residents here have been wanting this area cleaned up. The section in question basically belongs to the city of El Paso. So what we did is we went out there and took the initiative of taking care of what's our right of way. We put down the fence, cut the trees that are in the slopes of our banks, and we're cleaning up the area to see if maybe the other entities will step up to the plate to where it'll look presentable to the community.
Looks really good.
And then this is in the same area where we're just removing berms from inside the canals. We're doing this throughout the whole district. This is actually there by Roseway and the Franklin Canal right by Despino. Right back where, I don't even know if it's a school anymore.
Yeah, so, yeah, it needs to be.
Black tires.
And then this is another one, this is actually on the Tornillo. Same thing, we're removing the berms and kind of just cleaning everything up. But I know there's a mobile home a little bit further up there that's getting pretty close to the channel there. That one right there.
It's starting to tilt.
Yes, it's getting pretty close. So we're just kind of going in there, removing the berms and trying to realign the canal to where we get the water in the center of the channel. And that's all same place up there. Now, as the interns come in, in fact, we have an intern right now that's working in our welding shop. We had to build these gates. So our interns will build the gates. They build a total of 26 gates throughout our system. Most of them are on the Tornillo that have been rotted out. As you can see on that one, I think the whole bottom part is gone. And now we're doing the install on them. So we've installed already 18 of the 26. We should be done with all the installation. You can see there on the gate that was replaced right at the bottom. So we've done 18 of the 26. We should be done with all those installs by next week. And again, we got an intern who's still building some more. But once we're done with those installs, we need to go in there and start replacing some of the rails on the island main. That you guys that water on the island main, you'll notice that some of those gates are actually up in the air because the rail has deteriorated from the bottom. It's rotted out. So we have the material, we just need to find the time to go in there and start doing the install on. And then this is on the 154, just below where it intersects, I think that's Riverside Road or Legal Reserve Road. But as soon as it intersects up, and that gate that you see down there on the downstream side there, it's pretty much, it's gone. You know, water's going around it. The walkway, it's just a matter of time before it collapses. So rather than spend any time on trying to patch it up. We're just gonna go ahead and demolition that one and rebuild a brand new one. And, right there where you see those 55-gallon drums, there's actually 2 culverts there that will also have to be replaced. Those are also completely rotted out. Go to the next one, Jay.
There's no more coming
No
out.
more.
Wrong place.
But at least it'll,
Well,
won't move.
Dun, dun.
Al opened too. He had 2,
It's hard to get good help nowadays.
Dr. Blair, put it on the desktop, so maybe.
no.
You want my
he's got-
USB?
He's got 2 windows open. Yeah, here, let me. No. He's got another presentation.
So while we're waiting on this, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it? Let me see, Jeff, I can do it.
Yeah, you can do it. You just
Yeah, I
get-
can do it. Hmm.
Those baby fingers.
You turn that here.
You compare your thumbs to my thumbs? Baby thumbs.
Easy on.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys caught the other pictures of the 154 where
Yeah.
we've already done the footing and we're getting ready to put the rebar. Hopefully by next week, we'll do the concrete work and then start building upwards. This here is the branch A. On the branch A over by Yarborough and North Loop, there used to be an old Albertsons. It's a Walmart now, right in front of the J.J. Arms old place. So there, the branch A goes underground, North Loop, and it goes about 700 feet underneath the parking lot.
Is that where you're having a hard time finding manholes?
Yes. Okay, so there, it's our responsibility to maintain it and clean it. Okay, Walmart has been paying us a yearly fee, Mary?
Yes.
A yearly fee for the maintenance on it. Unfortunately, nothing's ever been done to it. So there's a whole bunch of sediment in the bottom to the point to where operations can't push enough water down the branch A to satisfy the small tracks. So we're having to break the small tracks into 2 different groups to be able to satisfy everyone. So what I did is I came back in here and that is the outlet of it. It was inverted about approximately 2 feet.
Huh.
So what was happening is that being that this canal is such a low flow, all the sand was just getting built up inside the pipe. So what I've done is I've gone in there and I've broken the floor. I've lowered the floor to the same level as the pipe to where we're not gonna have that backup anymore. Then right downstream, there's the floor, and unfortunately I found looks like a fiber optic line there. But right there where you see the backhoe, I'm installing a turnout. That's the mesa drain there. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm dropping the floor all the way to that point. There I'm gonna install a wasteway into the mesa drain to where now, anytime Enrique, it needs to dewater the Juan D or the branch A after small tracks, he can divert it into this wasteway to where it'll wash that sand out of that pipe. Because we're not gonna have an invert no more. So we're in the process of doing this right now. They're installing the pipe today, and we'll start building the head wall. So this project here, again, we should be done with it by the end of next month, latest. I think that we're about 2 weeks away from getting it completed. Then we're gonna go ahead and turn around and hire somebody to come in here and clean the pipe. We're gonna try to flush it out first. If that doesn't work, then we'll have to get somebody to come out here and jet it out.
When you say jet it out, just what about ditch quits? Didn't they used to have like a horizontal? Did I see them using up here on the freeway sometimes?
They do, and what it is I don't know if you've seen them, but what it is, it's just almost like a sprayer that shoots water with pressure.
Oh, I've seen those.
Right,
Yeah.
one of those jetters,
Yeah.
because you're looking at from North Loop to the first manhole,
Yeah.
you're looking at about 150 feet.
Wow.
From that manhole to the next manhole, you're looking at 125 feet.
Okay.
Then to get to the outlet to this point, you're looking at 250 feet.
Wow. So it'll
So,
all be done by an air jet, I mean, a water,
Right, it's gotta be
water
some-
air jet.
it's gotta be something that's capable of going that distance. Then unfortunately, the pipe is a 36-inch pipe to where, you could probably get a person in there, but you gotta make sure you've got all the gear, and, cause who knows what kind of,
Crap is in
well, yeah, the
It's a
crap,
safe-
but
it's a
just
safety.
the, sorry?
It's a OSHA thing.
Correct, yes. Yeah, so, I think it'd be easier just if we can jet it out. But then again, we're gonna try to flush it out first. If we can do that, then we're gonna save the money what's gonna cost to jet it out.
Have
So-
you crawled through there to make sure it's safe?
It's
Oh.
it's a 36 inch, it's a small
Yeah.
pipe.
It's a 36-inch and then it's elliptical.
Elliptical, so it's flat,
Okay.
yeah, so it is confined space, I mean, yeah. I
So-
think that waste will solve it. The waste
Pete,
should-
did I imagine never seeing, like an auger type device that some company, I thought it was Ditch Witch or something, that uses up here on the freeway? Is there, have you ever seen an auger that can go in horizontal? No?
Well, I mean, unless they're boring underneath, right?
Well, the
Maybe that's what
horizontal-
was going, a horizontal bore.
The folks that do the horizontal directional drilling to
Yeah.
a board itself.
Right.
Yeah, and then they slip in a
But
casing.
they've never used that.
Not to unplug culverts, no.
I thought I saw them use that.
But that's
That's
pressure,
probably
it's a pressure wash. It's just
Okay.
they can jet it. With a pressure washing system, there's some large ones. That's
No, I'm familiar
Or a
with that.
vacuum.
So these guys are talking about going in there with some back trucks and doing part of it. And then, the rest, I guess I'm gonna go in there with some jetters, because there is some, large debris in there. When we opened up one of the manholes, we did find a tire in there. So apparently there's some large stuff in there. There's some big rocks in there that I don't know if even the jetter will be able to push out.
That's something, once you get it clean, is that something you can do like on the ones you have here, where you have the cable on either side?
Once we get it clean, I think just with the work that I'm doing of lowering the elevation of the whole thing, we can flush it out, where we don't have to do it anymore.
At least I hope. We hope.
We hope, yes. But it should work, I mean, let's see here. Okay, so that's on the Branchet. Here we go again.
Uh-oh,
No,
Lisa,
maybe I should do it for you.
Can we order a bigger, please?
An adult size one?
Yeah, there you go.
So this is the other main, couple of pictures, just to give you an idea of what, the amount of sand that we're having to haul out of there. We were fortunate enough to where we dug out some pits close to there, to where we're taking the clay out and then filling the pits in with the sand that we're removing. We are, fortunate enough to where some of the farmers, some of our water users have given us permission to go in there and remove clay from their fields, because they need the sand. So, I got a list of different people that have offered to help us out, and we're very fortunate on that. So, it's just a couple of pictures so you can see some of the different areas. Just some of the sand that's having to be pulled out of there. There, we're having to do about at least 4 feet. And here we're already starting to reshape, we're marking our area and staking everything out. We're gonna go ahead and reduce it down to a 5-foot floor to maybe speed up the speed of the water. Then we're still gonna come in here and bring in some other clay and put it on top of the banks, because this area is extremely sandy, so we're gonna be putting some different material on top to maybe stabilize the banks. The good thing about this is that there used to be a water line right in the middle of that island main that we used to break every time we go in there. That had been relocated, it has been moved, it's been abandoned, so that was there alone was a big improvement.
Yeah, half of it was taken out, huh?
Yes. Okay, that's what it's looking like when we're getting done. Once you see that machine there, the Gradle, all he's doing is basically the finishing touch-ups. So right now, we've already advertised in the paper for the concrete. That'll close by the 30th? The 30th? We're actually gonna open up on 30th, right, the bids?
Yes.
Yes, we'll open bids up on 30th, and then we'll go ahead and select a concrete fit, and we'll get started with the shotcrete. Now, one of the questions that I've got, and I guess it kind of works with Enrique here, and of course you guys, you know, I know water this year, you guys are trying to get water to your crop like ASAP, especially you guys that are on the island main. Now, if you guys got wells, you know, we can always put the pacos to where we can keep water from coming at the top of us. Now, if you're after some return flow, I guess I need some direction as far as, do I continue with the 4,000 feet? Are you gonna want me to pull out of there by the end of March? Because I will not be completed by the end of March, the 4,000 feet. Right now, we've done approximately 1,300 feet. We're working on the next 1,000. That's gonna take us probably through most of February. And February we'll have 2,000 ready. But in order to complete the 4,000 feet, we're looking at probably April or May. Unless we beef up our maintenance. In other words, I start bringing them in for some OT or comp time, or bringing them in extra hours.
What do you figure, like 1,000 feet a month? That's kind of what you're.
That, right, yeah, about 1,000 feet.
You know, the only thing bad about that, Pete, is that all that area, there's no good wells in that area.
Right.
So all the growers in that area heavily, especially myself, we depend on that return flow for that area.
Yeah,
I mean, if we had the wells, I mean, it'd be no issue.
Right.
But that water there is 6,000-7,000 parts per million.
Yes. Yeah, so that's
The
something
earlier,
that
the better.
we might wanna think about, you know, because I would hate to try to go out there and do 3,000 feet and then have water be put on top of me, and guess what, next year I'm gonna have to redo it again.
Yeah.
Right.
The
So
money-
it's just
the
a
money you
waste
could
of
have spent
time.
on overtime and stuff, you have to. spend on
Exactly,
overtime.
exactly.
And I don't know, I mean, I don't know what's in the budget, I'm a new guy on this stuff, but I'd rather see it get done and be done.
I'm on that page too.
Just to where you're already there, you already got the guys.
The budget is for 4,100 linear feet, it's in the budget already, but yeah, it's,
My opinion is I'd rather see you get it done and be done.
it's a
Well,
206.
How long is that gonna take?
That's what he said.
Well, that's what I'm saying, if we continue the way we're going, it's taking about 1,000 feet a month, okay? So we can speed it up, but that's gonna cost us money. Now, I know this ain't the time, because I'm gonna have to pay overtime. But I could bring my guys in on Fridays and work them an additional 10 hours, but then again, you know, can we afford that in our budget to do that at this time?
That's what I want.
There's overtime in the budget, but
Not to speed it, not to finish the project until May, but to bring in more, if the budget allows it, bring in the guys, knock it out to where you and everybody else can have it, and you're not having to go back and redo it.
when do we want water in the 206 and the Guadalupe lateral was acquired, is basically
And the 154.
direction.
154, yeah.
Oh, the 154 is out as well. Oh, we can't feed it through Y72? No. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we might, but I don't think you get that much in there, right?
No.
I mean, it's very minimal, but you could push up to the,
But that.
Door at the tail end.
Pecans right there, isn't it?
towards the
What's
top.
that?
That's mostly pecans right there, isn't it, there?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
now,
need the water.
where is the starting and the end points? Can you get, tell us
I can
on that portion?
pull it up. I'd have to.
The start point is basically at the I-72. It's pretty close,
Okay.
and the end point is where we left off the shotcrete a couple years back.
What do you figure, what do you
Here,
think,
I'll
Pete,
check.
if you bring in on Fridays, how
Yeah,
much?
what's your time if I started doing?
What, how much do you feel you can get into this now?
You're not gonna be very efficient, you know that, right?
I'm
So
sorry.
the same hours that you work on a Friday are not the same efficiency on the work months from Monday through Thursday.
It's just too tired.
You're using the same crews.
Right?
And the thing is that they peak, you're working on 10-hour days, right? And then you gotta work them again, in other words, production.
keep in mind that, the crews that I'm talking about are crews that are on equipment and crews that are on dump trucks. There's no actually hard labor yet as far as, out there shoveling and stuff like that. Basically, it's people on
So you're
equipment.
gonna-
Yeah, one, you know, the earthwork is the hard part. The shotcrete, we'll knock that thing out in 2 weeks. 4,000 feet, we'll knock it out in 2 weeks. It's the earthwork that takes quite a bit of time because I'm having to pull so much sand out of the channel. And then having to replenish it with goodness.
What takes, what do you need more of, more dump trucks or more excavators? Like what, do the dump trucks stay up to, do they stay up with the excavators, or can you use more dump
Yes.
trucks?
Yes. And unfortunately, right now, I've got 2 excavators that are down, so I'm hoping to get one of them back. So, I'm getting ready to just send all my resources out there, you know, most of my backhoes. Unfortunately, you know, once you gear up on that, you fall behind a little bit. So it's kind of howdy too, you
I mean,
know,
it's
it's
a,
like,
it's a
much
give
do
and
you
take,
got
but
to-
that's a very
Exactly.
important.
Pete, how much do you got prepared already?
1,300 feet. We got 1,300.
So this
And
is,
I figure by the end of, well, by mid-February, I think I'll be close to about a little over 2,000.
At the rate you're going now.
So we look at the end of April.
Yeah, so 2,000 in February, March, yeah, end of April.
So you think if you get the overtime guys in, that mid-February could possibly turn to first part of February?
Yes.
One of us, how many days?
Yeah, yeah, unfortunately, we got, what, 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah.
so,
Yeah, maybe first.
to give you a general idea of where we're at, this is, Johnny's headquarters, Lee Moore's right here.
Okay, yeah, I can see
So
that.
past Johnny's, this is the I-72 heading right here. So we would have to put a berm here and divert water down I-72. Where the limits are, the actual shotcrete starts, well, this is a tail then, I guess, if you were coming up from the downstream. Right here.
Okay.
So this is where it's lying today.
That's the heading up there to the top, isn't it?
Right. The heading's off the riverside, over by,
what you're saying
right by
is-
your farm.
They wouldn't get any return flow,
No,
No.
so you're asking them to go, hey.
permit
They only
Williams
have to
is where
sell
the
it.
heading
Timing
is.
right there, that's,
Well,
Down here,
There ain't no wells down
yeah,
there.
that's what I was
the
thinking.
154, this is a
I tried to
154
look.
heading right here.
That's what I meant, that's. what I
Okay, yeah,
meant.
this is 154 heading, so right now, we're, about 1,000 feet below, the 154. What is it? Yes.
Why don't we just finish it up to 154 and move on, get the return flow, we can come back, if we don't release
Yeah.
till June, we can come back and pick it up again. After we get the water
Would
down.
that work?
What?
Yeah, that'll work, you know, I just wanna make sure that I don't put you guys out, you know,
Well,
So let's get there, get it, because we have to put cutoff walls in it and do stuff extra whenever we stop, we don't just stop.
Right.
So, let's get to a stopping point and then,
How much
get
is-
everybody watered out and then.
What's that number?
we'll
how much
reevaluate.
is,
Okay, you said?
to the 154?
No, what does that say? Oh, 1192, so we're at the 154 right now?
Yeah,
You said 1,300, cause
Let's get
yeah,
in line.
yeah, 1,300 feet.
this
Yeah.
is, if I'm not
Keep in mind though
mistaken-
that you got straight lines there, so.
Yeah, but this is
Yeah,
line,
it's
this is
okay.
line, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got the earthwork done 1,000 feet past the lining that
Right.
exists now, let's get it shotcrete, guys, let's switch gears. Is that gonna work for you?
Yeah, oh yeah, that'll work for me. You know, I know we budgeted for
Same
4,000 and I just
Right.
wanna make sure
Right
that
amount of money,
if
then
we
can
want to do the
reevaluate.
4,000, we can do it.
Let's get it done.
But it's just gonna delay though.
Yeah.
The water will be able to
That's
put
too
it
late.
July and May.
If somebody.
He may, while we're getting a shotcrete, he may have people that are still gonna be working on the excavating.
Right, right.
And we have to redo some of that, but it's gonna be cheaper than the 10 hours. I'm with Miguel on this one, that last day, the 50-hour week, and the 1.5, what's our overtime, 1.5?
Yeah, I mean,
You guys got us on a really tight budget this year.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good solution,
So that's what I'm saying, if you guys could give me, let's say, we wanna put water in the island main by March 1, then I'll do as much that I can to be out of it by March 1.
Just.
If I get to do 2,500, I do 2,500. If I only do 2,000, I only do 2,000. But I just need a date that you want me out? When do you guys
Instead
think
of-
you'll be putting water in the island main?
Well, what I was asking you for a date. If you've got, what you got done now, how long's it gonna take you to shotcrete it?
Well, we'll be ready to shotcrete starting next week.
I know, and when will you finish?
It's 1,000 feet, it'll take us probably maybe a week and a half. Shotcrete goes fast.
Yeah, do that and then put the water in and then come.
And then we'll meet with you, while that's going on, we'll meet with you ongoing to figure out what this
Okay.
phase
So
is.
you're driving the force, you're driving the boat, basically.
Yeah.
What days you deliver, we can adjust.
I think Al's idea will really work.
If you could get that done, and let's
I mean,
say,
we
let's
could
say it
do-
takes 2 weeks,
2 weeks.
in 2 weeks we re-meet, you've got it done, you can still, with other crews other than the shotcrete crew, you're still, just keep going and excavating. We may lose a little bit of that, I understand, but it's not.
It's prepped all the way to the 154, or that's.
Yeah, he says it's right there.
1,300 feet or more.
Yeah, that's 1,100, so.
At least it's a good stop.
So
It's a good point,
Where
I
they're
gotta
at
stop
now.
there
It's gonna be in the
anyways, we gotta
30s.
build the cutoff walls there.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
And the cutoff walls and stuff aren't an easy part of it, you know, and that's where we have to form and do stuff, and we got turnouts and all that stuff.
Right.
So let's get,
And,
let's get.
and that's just one of the obstacles. The other obstacle, we're supposed to have some bad weather next week.
make a
We're
decision.
supposed to be some freezing weathers this week.
Monday, Tuesday,
So,
Wednesday.
you know, that all plays a
Tuesday,
part in
starting
it.
Tuesday in the 30s.
It could be March before you. So let's get it done and.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what we'll do right now is we'll go ahead and concentrate on the 1,000 feet that are ready. We'll start shotcreting that. We'll continue working with our excavators. You know, as we get closer, I guess Enrique will tell me, okay, we're getting ready to put water in. I'll put my cutoff walls, we'll shoot up to there and
Yeah.
walk out.
That's what.
Walk out, and then if we irrigate everybody out and we got time, then we'll come back.
Okay.
Why do you say you got 2 excavators down? Are they major deals or just little things?
Well, one of them was that bucket that we're redoing. And the other one was almost ready, so I'm thinking it should be out in the field probably by the day or tomorrow.
Okay, it's just a little thing.
Right. It was a sensor that was out.
Those were painted,
I
but.
think they're short reaches, they're not, they're the big buckets.
All right, Pete, you're comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I think that'll work.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Thanks, Pedro.
Thank you, guys.
Gives us options.
Yeah.
All right. Pete, you got anything else, no?
No, I'm good. How about you guys? You got anything for me?
You know, all sorts of stuff, but that's all right.
Well, don't hesitate, give me a call if there's something that we've missed, or there's a turnout there that you need repairs. I mean, we'll get after it.
You got it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, let me look here real quick here.
Turn up or?
All right.
Let's see. Sharon, are you ready?
Yes.
What do we do?
Okay, so the first one is license 1638, it's a renewal for El Paso Electric, an 1-year renewal. Licensing has reviewed this application and recommended for approval.
Do we have an adjustment for price?
Automatically, for, based on inflation, so it's pretty good.
We're good.
All right,
To approve if,
all right,
Second.
Mike made the motion, Larry second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign.
The next ones are gonna be grouped, it's 8 applications by Lower Valley Water District at various locations. Some of them are for water lines, some of them are for sewer lines. Licensing has reviewed all of these applications and recommends them for approval.
If acceptable, move to approve.
All right, Mike made the motion,
Second.
Larry second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. All right.
I'm going to go ahead and group C and F. They're both for, by El Paso Water and, at various locations. So that would be application 3524 and 3550. Licensing has, reviewed these applications and recommends them for approval.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Larry made the motion. Mike second,
Second.
all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. All right.
Next is D, application 3529 by Spectrum. It's for subsurface fiber optic cable system crossing the Juan Herrera main lateral at Barbara Avenue. Licensing has reviewed this application and recommends it for approval.
On this, is this a major player that's doing this on a regular basis, or is this the one-time show?
No, they, for hundreds of applications in town, this spectrum,
Yeah, it's time warner.
city subdivision, so they're running cable too.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mike, seconded by Larry. All in favor, signify by saying aye. 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 Anyone opposed, same sign. All right, Sharon.
I'm gonna go ahead and group, application 3547 and 3554, both, by Mr. David Morales. 3547 is a renewal for a private road crossing, and 3554 is a private potable water line for that same property. Licensing has reviewed these two applications and recommends them for approval.
Move to approve.
All right. Mike made the motion to approve.
Second.
Larry second. Any, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. All right. I
And the
think I
last
heard some
one,
ayes here, so go ahead.
the last application is 3554 by Spencer Construction LLC, and it's for a contract to purchase of non-potable raw water for use in controlling dust.
No,
Is that for the, maintenance for the water control?
Yes,
it
yes.
just wants to get a pump and pull some
Well,
water.
we've got a,
Well,
one of the wells, it's a well, it's got a
Okay.
spigot.
Move to approve.
All right. Mike made the motion, Larry second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Same sign. Okay, let's see here. Let's go ahead and take about a 5-minute, 10-minute break. And we'll come back and close the session.
5 minutes?
Let's do it.